Hi. At this point, you should have been through some readings and had a little bit of experience checking the front ends out on vehicles. If you haven't done it yet in the lab, you will soon. There are a few common errors and some misconceptions that we want to clarify here, make sure that we're all on the same page and we can get this done correctly. So we'll go through that right now and get some notes on how to do things right. So if we have a linkage style steering system, the dry park check is a quick and easy way to find play-in components. This is frequently done wrong. You don't need to turn the steering wheel very far left and right. Basically, you want to turn the steering wheel left and right in the area where there is play only. You don't want to see the road wheels turning left and right at all. And it's a two-person operation, so one person turning the steering wheel left and right, the other person underneath looking for play in these highlighted areas. So that's all the wear points in your steering system. So it's fairly straightforward. We do want to make note of something like this. Now, typically the rule of thumb for the amount of allowed clearance in steering components is 0. But you want to be aware that in some cases, in this area here, the idler arm may have an allowable up and down movement. There are some vehicles, some manufacturers, brand new parts will have a significant amount of up and down movement. So before you call an idler arm bad, just make sure that you're doing it according to the correct procedures and correct specifications. Okay. If you have a vehicle with a steering rack, the dry park check is frequently hard to do. There's not a lot to see anyways. So we grab a hold of the road wheel, and we turn it left and right, and we see if we can feel any play in there. And you want to grab a hold of the tie rod end, and you want to try and rotate it. It should rotate smoothly. It might be a little bit stiff, but you should be able to rotate it. If you hear crunching and grinding noises, that indicates a problem. If you can't rotate it at all, that indicates a problem. So we want to see basically smooth movement with some resistance, but no play in any of the connections. Now, if we look here, this outer one, with you can grab it with your hand, pull up and down, see if you can make it move. Try to feel for like a clicking kind of something that would indicate play in the joint. And on the inboard side, if it has a soft bellows boot, you can grab a hold of that with your hand and turn the road wheels in and out and see if you can feel a clicking inside of there. If it's a hard bellows boot, it's a little bit pretty much impossible to do because you can't really get a good grip on the joint inside of there. But you can just hold on to the tie rod end and see if you can feel anything clicking back and forth. Now, we want to also do the visual. So out here, you see this boot is torn. You'd call that bad. The boot, it looks like a little rubber boot, so what? It performs a very important function. It keeps lubricant in, and it keeps debris and water and things out. This also applies to the bellows boot in here, by the way. The boots do have an important function. If you leave this like this, shortly, you'll find that all of the lubricant has come out. Water, sand, whatever has gotten inside of it and washed all the lubricant out of the joint, and now you've got accelerated wear. And if you don't address that, shortly thereafter it starts to go like this. So now it's disconnected and completely worn out and disconnected, and you've lost control of the steering on a vehicle. So the boots, they have an important function, and do take care to have a look at them. Now, here we have a sometimes recommended test procedure for checking tie rod ends. And it's, you don't find any play in everything feels okay. Perhaps you've done a dry park check and you've twisted them back and forth and all that. It feels good. You may find people that'll recommend grabbing a pair of water pump pliers like this and compressing the joint and seeing if you can compress it. And the people that recommend that frequently say that if you can compress a joint, it's no good. Well, this is not really a valid check. And if we look at how these things are made, you can kind of see why. This joint has a spring inside. The spring is designed to make the joint somewhat self-adjusting and wear compensating. So your wear area is basically where you have the amber area indicated there. So it's where the ball stud meets the socket assembly. Any wear that occurs in there, the spring forces the ball stud up, takes up the wear, and the joint is still snug, and your steering is still positive. So if you grab this with your water pump pliers, in effect you're just compressing that spring inside that's designed to be there. So you're simulating a fault that doesn't exist. So I will just leave that water pump plier check out of the equation. Okay, that's it for now. Hope you picked up a couple of details there, and we'll see you in class.